Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Be a Poser. Today we're going to be kicking it in Tony Stark's garage, along with the Iron Man Mark IV holographic version 6-scale figure by Hot Toys. Let's get started. Alright, here he is, the Iron Man Mark IV holographic version 6-scale figure by Hot Toys. Still in his box, exactly the way it's going to come to you, including this wide assortment of accessories for his forearms and for his shoulders. Can't wait to see what I can do with all this cool stuff, so let's get started. Alright, here he is, the Iron Man Mark IV holographic version by Hot Toys. What this figure represents to me is just something new and original, and I just love it. The fact that you can represent in your collection a holographic representation of the armors, implying that Tony Stark would actually be working with something like this just to give himself an idea of what the inner workings of his armors are all about and how they function. So a useful tool, I'm sure, and realistic, believable, so I'm glad to have this thing represented here. Also, the bonus is that you actually get a glimpse into the inner workings of the figure, of the die-cast 6-scale Hot Toys Iron Man figures. And I think that's probably a pretty valuable thing to have for the avid collector. Look at the way that you can just see, I mean, yeah, you can see what they've created to mimic the inner workings of the Iron Man armors in the films, but you can also see just a bit of the engineering that came into play with the creation of the figures itself, and I think that's pretty special. What I really want to do here, though, with this figure today is to create a pose that gives a little bit of homage to that effort. And I'm thinking right now of Tony Stark as the quintessential Renaissance man in the Marvel Universe, which he mostly is. And with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and try to hit a pose that's reminiscent of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. In order to do this, I'm going to need to do something first, and that's change out these hands from the fists to the repulsor palms. Now let's just go ahead and do that. Please see me working on it. Will this fold? Yeah, this goes out. Not at all. Very close. Got it. Cool. That's on. And the other one? The other guy in there? Okay. All right, so we've got those repulsor palms in place. Next step is to get these arms up laterally, equidistant on each side. I'm going to move these pauldrons out of the way because I don't want to scratch anything up. Now, when you do that, you expose this little joint here. You can see how much range of motion that you're going to have for a lateral raise. So let's just take that up to the max. Actually, first, let's come around here because we've got this thing. I want to move this out, which will actually give me a bit more play. And let's just go ahead and lift this arm by rotating specifically at that top joint until it comes all the way up to the top. Can't go any higher than that. Let's do the same thing over here. And there we go. That's cool. Looks like we've got about the same degree of lift on both sides. I'm going to move this pauldron back to where it's supposed to be. Allegedly, there we go. I might tweak that a little bit later. Let me just get this palm rotated this way, and the other one rotated as well. It's pretty much there already. All right, now I can tell by looking at the pauldrons that I've got pretty much an equal amount of lift going with these arms. If you really want to be precise, break out a measuring tape or a ruler and measure from like this point here, like the elbow on each side, and that will tell you if you've got everything exactly where it's supposed to be. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to rotate these guys back. There we go. Now you can probably already tell what I'm going for here. With the Vitruvian Man, he's also got his legs at a specific angle. I can't remember what that angle is, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Move this leg out just a little bit, and then also laterally move this leg out to compensate, about the same level. We can go a little bit further. And let's rotate those feet so that they're flat to the ground. Yeah. Okay, another point that you can look at here is these lines on the interior of the legs just above the thighs. You can see that that's pretty much equidistant. I think I could probably rotate this leg around just a touch. And then also eyeballing these parts here to make sure that you also have the rotation about the same on the hip joint. Rotate this around. Everything's looking pretty good. Get that back a little bit more just to have it flush. The head is a little bit too far down for my taste, so I'm going to have it looking just a little bit up so that he's kind of looking straight forward. I like the attitude that presents itself when you tilt it down, but I don't think it's appropriate for this kind of a display. Wow. Okay, again, just looking here, and I'm eyeballing it. The best way to really judge would be to step back, because distance provides you with a little bit better of a perspective. And maybe you guys are seeing something different than what I'm seeing because of my closer perspective here. But I think just looking at this right now, that I've just about got this thing exactly where I want it to be. And again, Vitruvian Man pose for the Iron Man Mark IV holograph kind of represents the notion of the creativity that goes into the design of such a magnificent piece of work as this Iron Man armor. Man, yeah, this is exactly how I'm going to pose mine. I think it looks great. Tony Stark uses his holographic technology to provide the purest perspective of all the interior components of his armors. Following a similar theme and intent, Hot Toys has provided a Mark IV variant that allows collectors to glimpse the inner workings and engineering of the figures they cherish. I think it's a treat and very appropriate.
Did you enjoy that video? Be sure to subscribe by hitting the S icon on your screen and click the bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under product info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.